I'm joined here by the current world number 4 and India number 1, Arjun Erigaisi. Arjun, hello.
Hi, Sagar.
It's nice to see you relaxed a bit because we are so used to now seeing you playing tournaments back home since I think over 10 days now, yes?
No, actually, I reached home only yesterday.
What?
I was in India, but I was in Hyderabad for a few days,
Hmm.
for like 3 days, and I came home yesterday.
What were you doing in Hyderabad? Was it like some training or?
No, not training, just with my family, and I also met Shrikar there.
Ah. Yeah, you mentioned you also have a house in Hyderabad, right? Warangal and Hyderabad.
Yeah, right.
Right. So you were in Hyderabad, and today you are back home, and you agreed to this interview. So thank you so much, Arjun. 70 games you've played this time in 2024. Um and of course, people are aware, but for all those who are not aware of this, Arjun has climbed up to world number 4 with 2778.1 ELO, winning the Stepan Avagyan Memorial, which was the latest tournament he played with a rating performance of 2854. And also, before that, the French League. I think these are the two recent tournaments that you played, and I would like to focus upon. But Arjun, this 2778 is just an insane number. Like I cannot wrap my mind around it, but I know I've read all your interviews that you've done until now, and I'm amazed at the things that you've spoken about where you say that numbers are not important for you. And I've seen around people saying that once someone increases the rating, then it's easy to say this. But I want to
Mm.
understand your mindset. Like, how are you able to do this? Like, not thinking about the numbers, but gaining so much rating, 40 low points in the last 20 days, reaching 2778.
Yeah, so this I realized like around last year, towards the end of the year, that when I was like caring too much and when I had too much attachment connected to it, it was like I was like fumbling under critical moments, and it was affecting me negatively. This happened to me like especially with candidates. Like I desperately wanted that, but I was close in several parts and kept missing out. And then I tried to make this conscious decision of uh, like not caring about it. Like, okay, of course I'll give my best, but whatever happens, I'll try to take it the way it is. And yeah, it wasn't easy, but a few things have helped me in this. And now I think I managed to get that mindset of like, not caring too much about the results. So like, even if something doesn't go well, it doesn't affect me for very long.
Hmm. Well, it's one of the most important things I think. I myself have been trying that tremendously to detach myself from the results. And it's not easy because when things don't go your way, there's a specific way you are used to functioning, right? Like when you lose a game, you basically get upset. And this is happening for years. So how
Right.
you mentioned that there are a few things that have helped you to change this attitude of yours. If it is possible to share, what exactly are those things? Like what has helped you?
Yeah, so yoga is one main thing, like inner engineering. I recently made a post about it.
Yes, I,
And
I have that with me here, just so that people can see here. This is the post you made on the yoga day. I would like to talk a bit about my inner engineering experience and how it helped me. So this one, you did mention what you were saying right now, that last year was stressful and you changed your approach here.
yeah, so like I started this around October last year,
Mm.
and but I couldn't finish it because of like my tournaments and everything. But I finished it this year, and yeah, I could already like just between it itself, I could see a change.
Mm.
Last year when I had this tough game against Nodisberg,
Oh,
which
this
in
Qatar Masters last
yeah,
round.
yeah, it was like totally drawn, and I just blundered and lost.
Yeah.
and normally it would have affected me like for very long, but like within like 2 3 hours I managed to move on from it. And yeah, I could, that was the first change I saw.
Hmm.
And like this year when I finished the course, like I could already see immense changes. One of them was like my two losses in this year, both I received pretty well. They didn't affect me that much, like for the next few minutes, but not more than that.
I think the one was at Sharjah, right?
Yeah, one was a charge against Theodore, and my friends were so surprised to see me like not being upset at all after the loss.
Hmm.
And then I managed to bounce back pretty well. And the other one was at Shenzhen Masters
Yeah.
to Boo Jangi. And also like that one, in fact, I lost with white. Normally it would have been a very painful one to come out of, but again, like it was just for like next 1 hour or something, and then I was back to normal. And next one, I had a pretty good game. I beat Anish with black.
Wow. Yeah, I remember this game, but this very fact of being able to sort of not take the losses, not them not affecting you, sometimes people feel uncomfortable in such a situation. They think that we are becoming careless. We care very little about it. Did you also feel that? Like, I'll just give you an example. Recently, I was taking a flight, right, and I reached late to the airport, and I missed the flight. And then it was all in my hand, and I was like, okay, it doesn't matter, let's see where the next flight is and let's book it. And then when I was sharing it with some of my close people, they said that if you don't feel bad about it, you will miss the flight again. And I was like, okay, this does make some sense, but what do you think about this?
Yeah, it does make sense, but like for me, when I cared a lot, it was only having a negative effect. And if I am giving my 100% in the efforts, like the work I do, and when I'm playing, if I'm giving my 100%, then I think for me personally, it's just better not to be too much attached to it, so that like there is no negative effect on the next game.
Right. Yeah, this is very, very important what you've just mentioned. And I think it's very important to sort of ingrain it. And the reason why I really was on interested to talk to you is because you are not just saying it, but you are living it. You are trying to live through this. And are there any other things? Inner engineering is one thing you mentioned. Is there anything else that has helped?
Yeah, this is the main thing, but the change came about. Like I really wanted this when like I realized with the candidates when I cared too much and it affected negatively. So that was one like main turning point, because even before that I was doing inner engineering, but I wasn't like consciously trying to get this kind of mindset. But after realizing this with candidates, I really wanted it to get to this kind of mindset, and yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah, like in the as you have said, in the candidates, you were close to making it through various means. I remember Grand Swiss, where I was there, and you were had like maybe 7 or 6 or 7 winning positions. Then through the FIDE circuit, was there any one more?
Welcome.
World Cup, of course. Yes, World Cup with your match with Pragg. And I think it would feel somewhere that bad. And I think that you have missed many such tournament victories and so on. But you have also won so many things that those things are not remembered as much. But you have had a lot of painful moments like these.
Yeah, and so yeah, like this will like caring too much. It also helped me win some games, but like when it happened at such a big level, like with candidates, I just decided to change my mindset completely.
And does it ever feel like when you like this 100% effort that you give in to something, does that get impacted ever by caring less about results, or that is Like
No, that
you
that is
give,
constant.
you would like to, where, so you are self motivated, you're motivated by what thing? Because results are not that motivation. So what is it that motivates you?
Mm, Firstly, I love playing chess, and if I'm playing something, like I just want to give my best in it.
Hmm.
So to give my best, I should give my 100% effort.
Right, right. So this become like a way of living for you now.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Arjun, this is very, very important. I think also for a lot of people who are out there. Um, I want
also,
to, yeah, go on.
sorry, I should also mention like I remember in Hikaru's interviews, he used to mention that like after he became a professional streamer, he's not caring that much about the results and he's just mainly having fun. And yeah, like this was also one of the things that had an influence on me.
Hmm. Right. You actually read through it that maybe the way in which he has changed his things has helped him to focus less on results. But for
Yeah,
you, even in spite of being inside it, you've detached, which is tougher, I would say.
yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. And Arjun, I want to go through a few games of yours that you've played recently, because whenever you're playing it's of course become a normal thing to look through your games, and I've seen some amazing things. I wanted to look at few games, get your thoughts on them, some analysis, some critical moments, because I want to see games from French league which was there, and then the Stepan Avagyan. So we need not go too detailed, but if you can talk through a few moments. So the first one was with Harikrishna. And I just saw recently your interview with Niklesh, where you mentioned that you liked this game.
Mhm.
Um, Facing Hari in this game, you just won. Like, I don't know where did he go wrong. Yeah, like what happened?
Yeah, it was like actually even while analyzing, it was tough for us to figure out which was like the decisive mistake from us. But I think this position is practically already quite dangerous
Hmm.
position that is on the board right now.
Yeah, this is very, very dangerous. But you played this move bishop e4, clearly wanting to push the pawn forward here. Did you see any good move for him? Because he made a mistake with bishop takes a6.
Yeah, and there are two best moves to hold the balance, and I think both are like very impractical.
Yeah, exactly. G3, H3. I mean, who who plays such moves?
Yeah, so I think because of this, like Indian actually prefers bishop d5 over bishop e4.
Yes.
But in my opinion, like practically bishop e4 is stronger
Hmm.
because now both the moves that are there are very tough to find. Whereas after bishop d5, the best move, like one of the good moves is bishop takes a6, which is kind of natural.
Right. But I really did not understand why H3 is a normal move here. You anyway want to push, right?
So the point is, black wants to push this pawn, so white wants to meet that with knight d2. So let's say instead of h3, if white went knight d2,
Yeah.
then we just take on g2.
This is what similar to the game, right?
Yeah, right. King g2, queen g5, and queen d2. Now, uh, okay, the b pawn is very strong, and white king is also pretty weak.
But if the pawn was on B3, just if we think about it.
So
And
the difference would be with the pawn on h3,
yeah.
h3 and b3, knight d2, bishop g2, king g2, queen g5. White can actually play this move bishop g4, and if queen
It's not
d2, then there is
hanging.
rook d7. So e2 is not hanging. Yeah, this is a
Now
2D.
I understand why G3 is good, because he cannot take bishop G2.
Yeah, g3 is simply avoiding bishop g2, but pushing g pawn is very tough because you don't want to open up this diagonal.
True, true. Crazy. Okay. So he took bishop a6, and I think you had seen that you are now better.
Yeah, I saw like I have at least a draw and like options to play on further win. So the draw was instead of b3 to take on f3. Uh, now like queen g5, queen f4, something like this.
Right. And then he must take, and then you can do perpetual here. Right. So, but you went b3, knight d2, and of course, the most important move that needed to be seen here, and perhaps what Hari missed, right? Rook b4.
Actually, I must say I was lucky with this. When I played b3, my intention was to take on g2, then give queen g5, queen d2.
Right.
And yeah, here also there are some crazy lengths. Yeah, king h1, which looks very natural, actually loses.
Because after rook d7, queen d7,
b2.
b2,
Yeah,
and is winning. Oh,
right.
because then it queens with their check there.
Yeah, so he should come up.
Oh,
And I had seen this,
ah,
uh, but like what I missed was queen d2, rook d7, queen d7,
yeah,
b2,
yeah.
and here,
Queen c7.
yeah, queen c7. I calculated I can go rook b3, king g2, and h6.
Wow,
And if rook b1, I have queen g5 and queen f5, very important. Attacking the rook, and he cannot defend it.
insane.
But instead of queen c7, like queen c7 was the only move I considered in that
It's
position.
logical, right? You want to attack this.
Very logical. But there are other moves, like bishop b5 is one of them.
And somehow this holds, yeah, for white.
Yeah, because like if I go queen c2, now he can go queen d6.
Queen c2, he can go queen.
Is queen d6 enough? Maybe not, because there's queen b3.
Yeah, queen b3 is coming. Yeah. Yeah, this is very complicated actually. Maybe a6 is what
a6.
engines are saying, but it's so
That,
difficult to calculate this.
yeah.
Maybe you could calculate it during the game. But yeah,
And
a6.
yeah, so like my intention was this was also promising.
Hmm.
Like that's what I thought. But then I spotted I have the b4, which is of course much better to include if I can.
Takes, check. And this is winning now.
Yeah, because my b pawn is strong and his king is weak. His a6 bishop is pretty awkwardly placed.
True. That was a very nice win. And you started off the French league with a nice win. How was it to play for your team, Metz Fisher?
Yeah, it was nice. The atmosphere was very chill, and also it was like nice to be in the same team with Surya. So
Yes.
I knew someone in the team from before.
He was always sitting next to you and playing, so that's also nice.
Yeah,
Going to the next game against Vitaly Kunin, I really like this finish of the game. Did you enjoy it?
yeah, it's a pretty finish. It's winning in many ways, but
Yes.
the finish is really
Yeah,
pretty.
it's very nice. You took here, knight f4. Very important move. Yeah, like queen g6 also maybe wins here.
Yeah, but it's like unnecessary. Yeah,
Yeah, knight f4, very clean. It went, and the main thing is now the bishop has opened up, so there's no
exactly.
knight on d3. You must have enjoyed making this move, queen
Yeah.
g7. So this led to another win, second win in this event. And then we went to this game with Alonso Rosell, where I really liked this play that you made on the queen side with this idea of knight a6, knight c5, bishop d7, castles, queen e8, rook a6, rook b6. Was this something you knew or you found it over the board?
No, I actually found it over the board. It's like a
Wow,
reverse Brazilian, but I hadn't seen this plan before. And
that's
but it makes
amazing.
sense to like put the knight on c5, which we generally see.
Right.
But this trap I found when he played knight f1, when I played knight c5.
Mm.
It's already okay. Engine doesn't give much advantage, but kind of a nice trap.
It's amazing trap actually. I mean, he would think, oh, there's nothing much happening. What's going to happen here? And suddenly you play rook a6 and he castles and he's lost now. I mean, not lost, but big
Yeah, the
trouble.
pawn is lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the point is, of course, after b3, you guys can try to pause the video and think what is it that Arjun had in mind here. But yeah, when the opponent sees this, that b3, which is what he must have had in mind, loses to rook b6, rook b3, it's a very big cold shower here. Yeah. Very nice.
And also there is one more nuance.
Yeah.
When I played bishop d7, uh,
Yeah.
like to gain a tempo on queen side with like if he tries to start with b3, the problem is there's a tactic here. Maybe the viewers can try to.
Uh-huh. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. So this time it's not like this, but it's like this. Beautiful. So knight e4, yes?
Yeah. And so
This is
because of this, it was important to have knight e3 so that in this final position there would be knight d5.
mm. He was just falling one tempo short. If he had 93 and b3 both, perhaps
Yeah,
he
then
was
it's
okay.
solid settle.
Right. And this turned into a very good win. One thing that I really observed is even when these positions got really sharp, you were very clean with your finish. I guess this is one of your major strengths. Just no matter how complex the position is, to just calculate the nuances accurately.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, this one actually had many, like even after I won the pawn, I had to make a decision, like when he played b4, a, b, c, b, that position.
Yeah.
So, like one of my options was to take rook a4
Yes.
and just recapture with the knight. But here I'm a pawner, but he has some compensation
Hmm.
because of bishop pair and my knight on a4 is not that good.
But you also do not have to think about the sharp lines with b5, which you need to think when the rook is there.
Yeah, right. This is like a safe option to keep a slight advantage.
Correct.
And but yeah, it was important what I did because now temporarily I lose back the pawn with knight b3, b5. What happened again?
But you get it back.
But I get it back, and my knight will have a strong c5 outpost.
Amazing. Amazing. It's not just calculation, but assessment. You have to
Okay.
assess this position better than the that one with knight
Yeah,
on a4.
yeah, correct.
Wow. Brilliant. Going to another win of not win. This one is a little bit of a game which I was like, okay, Arjun's playing really well in this tournament, and I switch on the game. It was live. I was like, oh my god, what's just going on? It's like in 10 moves he's worse. What happened like here?
Yeah, this one. Okay, I didn't check this line for this game. I just remember some details that bishop goes to f5, queen goes to d7.
Yeah.
But after h3, you don't go queen d7. Now you just play like e5 or knight f6 other move
Yeah.
because now there's no bishop h3 because white is going king h2. So queen d7 just doesn't make sense.
But you
And
wanted to play some attack, yeah, like with h4
yeah, I
maybe.
was still trying to justify the queen d7,
Yes.
but soon I realized what I was doing was just totally wrong. And yeah, by this point I already understood that I already did something wrong. And I thought, okay, I'll try to bail out with a draw and that
Here h4 doesn't make sense, right? In any way, like,
no, he can just take.
and this is nothing.
Yeah,
He's fine. So here you tried to actually distract the knight so that he takes, then maybe you get h4. Something like this, maybe, yes?
something like this. But even if I get h4, he can always go g4.
Correct. And sacking is doesn't make sense there.
Never not that strong. But okay, knight h4 is of course very strong.
And e3, knight c. And the best move in this is to offer draw. Uh, were you surprised that he accepted it?
Not fully. I had a feeling he might.
Mm.
And that's the reason I offered. Like, if I would be sure he wouldn't, then it would only give him additional confidence, right?
Mm.
So I have
How do you gauge this? Like it's basically his body language.
no, not body language, but like I was having a good tournament
Mm.
there, and also like the team was kind of a favorite against us.
Mm.
On I think only on board one we were the rating favorite. So I have the feeling he might accept considering these factors.
Got it. Just for our viewers, White is now having ideas like e4, f4, f5, which is already very strong.
Yeah, and here he would have played f4, and f4 was the move that bothered me the most. And yeah, he has all the space in the world, and I'm just doing nothing. Like the queen on d7, bishop on e6 doesn't make sense.
Yeah, this would have been quite a tough game for you, but he accepted a draw, so that was a good result. Moving on to this game with Karthik, and I think Karthik is you know him since a very young age, perhaps or not.
Mm. I know him. I have played a lot of games against him in like when I was a kid. And recently we didn't play that much, but yeah, like childhood, and he was like my nemesis. I always used to lose to him.
Hmm. And here now also he's also improved quite a lot. He's close to 2600. And you played your favorite. I don't know if to call favorite or not because there's one more game that you played with this move f5. Is
After
it?
this,
Sorry.
that was after this.
Yes, in Stepan Avagyan, Schliemann opening, in any way inspired by Pragg or something but he did it differently. He
Yeah,
played.
it's actually people sometimes think it's similar, but it's quite different
Hmm.
because here it's more dubious, and the line goes like d4, so which is quite different. With direct f5, there is never d4.
And just
So the
because.
point now, like f3, knight e5, knight e5, de, c6, and the bishop is hit. If it moves, then there's queen f5, queen e5.
Ah. And having the bishop here does not get this tempo.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And if you don't get this tempo, king is just very weak, and yeah, that's just worse.
This is amazing. Yeah, like you know it all so quickly. Of course, I would take 10 minutes to understand these differences after analyzing, but f5 and this is more respectable. I mean, maybe it's playable opening, right?
Yeah, it is slightly dubious, but yes, it is much more like playable.
Right. And somehow you got a interesting position, but it was he went wrong somewhere. I don't know. I didn't understand what exactly is because black already feels like having a nice position here.
Yeah, I was comfortable with my position already, and he played c4 pretty fast
Yeah.
because it was logical to hit my center. And yeah, like somewhat surprisingly, immediately after this, like he's already slightly worse in almost any variation.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And it's sometimes some openings are such that you have all the wealth of knowledge, you have analyzed it, you've seen games, but such positions are new in a way, and there are not many. So you don't
Yeah,
even understand that such it's worse. But did you feel it during the game that you are better?
after long castle, he went into a long thing, and I was feeling very comfortable.
Hmm.
I thought I'm already slightly better. That is what he also thought. And I guess he should have tried to trade off queens, like bishop c6, cd, something like that.
And then it's maybe somewhere around equal.
Yeah, slight edge for me, but yeah, this was his best defense.
Although after your game with Murzin, I doubt if you will even press such a position. Similar.
No, in fact, this one I even have like objective advantage.
True, true.
Like the Musin game was quite equal.
Yeah, we'll go to that one. It's one of my favorites here. Queen c5, takes, knight e3. And yeah, just I don't know. There's some line which gave you a big
Yes,
edge.
it looked very natural,
Yeah.
but it's actually a mix. And also instead of bishop c5, I think the cleaner move is practically knight before this. Uh, Waste on this. Soon after I played bishop c5, I realized that.
But the main reason why black is better here is because of these
Because
weaknesses.
yeah, and he's unable to get his c1 bishop and a1 rook out. And also now that he's castled already, it's tough for him to like have his king
Mm,
close to the d pawn.
right.
So now trading queens is like much stronger for him.
Got it. Okay. But you managed to win this game quite convincingly. I think
There were a few hiccups, but I never like the advantage was never.
it was never in doubt. Correct. Like this is already slightly better for you,
Yeah.
and you went on to win. Right. And then I think the league stage got over, and then there
Hmm.
was this. I think the upper pool and lower pool, right?
Yeah.
And there you played four. I mean, there were 4 rounds, and here you showed this interesting move knight d2 against David Gavrilescu.
Yeah. This is like just to get a game. It doesn't give any advantage. It's like it's equal in many ways, but just to get a game.
It's reminiscent of this line in the Scotch, no, like where they are these
Uh,
days. Sorry, knight c6, d4, ed,
mm,
knight d, knight f6, take, take, and this
yeah.
one.
Now that you point out, I realize.
It's a little similar. It's equal but fresh position, and
Mm.
that's exactly what you want. D6, and actually you managed to get an advantage so quickly here, like, and everyone, I think one wonders like why to play main lines, yeah.
Yeah, he made an inaccuracy pretty early with knight c5.
Mm,
That just gave me two tempo because after b4 he anyway went back.
correct. And this happens when you play something offbeat, right? Like when opponent doesn't know, then they can make such decisions. If they know the theory, it's often like till 20 moves no one makes an error.
Yeah, it's possible when something offbeat happens. It's possible someone makes some error.
Correct. Maybe it's a good moment to ask you, like, are you following these variants, freestyle chess, Casablanca chess, that happened?
Yeah, freestyle chess I was following very closely. Casablanca was following the results, but I think I was in some tournament. I
Mm.
was not able to follow it closely.
But do you like what's happening there?
Yeah, Casablanca found it went very interesting because like both the players get something new,
Yeah.
and it's also like playable for both the
Mm,
sides.
mm.
So like there's no prior knowledge, and whoever can play better wins. So I really like that concept, and I hope we get to see more of that.
And you would like playing those because I realize that those players who have a very narrow opening repertoire may not like Casablanca chess because it's like you could get any position.
Hmm.
But for you, I think it's completely fine. You keep playing any sorts of positions.
Yeah, and yeah, it would be nice to like that format. I think we just never had that, so
Yes,
I
yes.
never got a chance to play. So it would be nice.
Awesome. Okay, moving on to your next event, Stepan Avagyan Memorial, new tournament. Why did you decide to play this tournament, Arjun? Like I was thinking, okay, French league is over. Maybe I'll message Arjun. Okay, welcome back home. And you suddenly in Armenia, you're like, why did you decide?
Yeah, this I had like committed long ago, like in January.
Mm.
I didn't want to change my plans because I committed, and also like this tournament, it happens in Germany. So back in 2018, I went there with my mother. Like back in the day, we didn't go abroad that much. So I think it was like my fifth or sixth time going out of India, and so it was like all very new, and like we had such pleasant memories there.
Mhm.
And yeah, I thought it would be nice nostalgia to go back to the same place with my mother again.
Yes, I saw in one of the pictures that your mother was there.
Yeah,
Did she enjoy over there? Did you enjoy having her by your side?
Yeah, it's always nice to have someone, especially from the family, supporting you. And this, she also very much liked coming back to the same place after 6 years.
And so she was not in the during the French league, right? She flew specially for
No,
this one.
she joined just for this tournament.
Amazing, amazing. So you played first round with Hovhannisyan and Robert, and I felt this tournament, although you were top seed by 50 low points almost, it was not going to be easy because these
Yeah,
are all really strong players, each
yeah,
one.
yeah, not just strong, but also very solid.
Mm.
So, like, beating a solid opponent is very tough. Like, beating a solid 2600.
Yes,
And Hovhannisyan is, like, not just with his repertoire, but his style of play is also incredibly solid.
right, right. He is the one who's I think also working for some top players, right?
I have no idea.
Ah, maybe I'm not sure. No, maybe it's someone else who works for Fabi.
Yeah, opposing.
Ah, Oparin, Oparin. Yes, I mistook Oparin for Hovhannisyan. Okay, so here I really liked your decision of knight e1. You know, like it's also possible to just take on h4.
Yeah, it's possible, but that is like pretty equal.
Hmm.
So when I come back knight e1, basically at some point I'll go g3 and he'll have to go back knight g6 because his attack with rook g6, queen d7 won't be that strong.
Right.
And with the knight on g6 and pawn on g3, he'll again have to invest a few moves to get the knight back to the game. And while my knight has like potential to go to g2, e3, f5, or c4.
This knight was, of course, the star,
Yeah,
and the moment he played this move, I don't know if you felt it, but the moment he played c6, I was like,
yeah. C6, I felt it was already wrong.
yeah,
So, in fact, I was thinking to go C5 myself, like, even if he doesn't play C6. I wasn't that sure, but I thought it's still a logical move because all this time I have been wanting to get my knight to G2,
yeah,
but the problem is he'll go Queen D3.
yes,
And if I go Rook D1 first, then he will go Rook D6 and offer a trade.
right.
Is to take away the D6 square from him and then go Rook D1 and get the knight.
Hmm.
But it weakens the B5 square. But now that he's played C6, then it makes all the more sense to just go C5.
Yeah, and now you just this phase of the game. Of course, this was quite logical what you did, bringing here. But this one is where very clean, like taking here and now Queen f3 and King g2. Like these moves very important to win the game.
Yeah, but also I think it's not that tough because he's threatening knight. Like with Queen F3, I'm just protecting the bishop,
Yeah,
and after knight e6, he's threatening knight d4.
true.
So I want to like take on d4. So with King g2, I'm supporting the queen.
That's right. And then even though he had this dangerous pawn, you calculated it through, and you managed to win this c6. Very nice game. This I
Yeah, one of
really.
the things is the d pawn could never be very dangerous in the end because like after queen e4, let's say he just played like king h8 or king g8.
Yeah,
I can always just play queen f3, and this kind of a position like he just can never
never
proceed with the
push.
yeah never push.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Again, f5 against Shant, and an amazing game itself. Now that you spoke about this opening, I don't have to talk about it. But he went wrong with this move Rookie one here,
Yeah,
which gave you a nice little edge. But then we reached this position.
yeah, it was roundabout even.
Yeah, and takes
Yeah,
if.
bishop f5 was a very double-edged decision.
Hmm.
Like before that, it was like around equal, but even after that, objectively it's equal. But now I have my pawn center, and he has like his own pawns on the king side.
And not just his pawns, I really loved his king because his king
Yeah,
can always come and sit here.
yeah,
But that you caught that king a5 here. Maybe I didn't like the move b4 so much because it gave you this opportunity, but maybe it's fine.
he also wanted to prevent me from playing like d4, c5. So it makes some sense to.
Right. Did you instantly realize this blunder?
Yeah, I had foreseen this.
Okay.
So like gf6. At first, I wanted to play rook c2, provoke rook c1, but gf6 was like kind of bothering me because
When
G,
exactly? Here.
like after rook c2,
Yeah.
when I was calculating gf6, I thought rook c3, f7, and I'm losing the e4 pawn.
Hmm.
So I didn't like giving up that. So I was, but gf6 it just felt wrong because like triple pawn,
Yeah.
and I was trying to make it work, and then I saw this beautiful trap.
It's amazing move.
Yeah, it's such a rare kind of
Yeah, it's like he has so many options, but all of them loose. And of course, the main one and the prettiest one is this move rook g2, just
yeah.
cutting the king off.
Yeah, and h5 like getting rid of that pawn, so the catch it is made.
Yes, very important to get rid of that pawn. And he then went back, but this is just winning now.
Yeah, like my pawns are way stronger, and his king is no longer active.
Right. And just so that people know, if in case Arjun takes here, then king h5 and white is still in the game.
Also, during the game, like I was calculating f7, but f7 is actually a losing move again because of rook h8.
Yes. Maybe preparing this, right?
Yeah, preparing h5 exactly.
Not rook f8, because if you, which is the most natural, then
Yeah,
rook
but now
e4.
he plays yeah.
So h5 and mating attack. Correct. Okay. So this was a very nice win here against Shant. And in this tournament, you were just kind of from round two itself, you got the sole lead and you kept moving on. I don't think there was any time doubt that you would not win the event.
Yeah, like I always maintain at least a half point lead.
Yeah. Did you like the overall tournament, the Stepan Avagyan Memorial?
Yeah, I had a good time there.
Hmm.
And okay, maybe the like internet signal wasn't great, but that was the only time because it's a town and I understand.
Maybe you didn't have much to do, yeah, because no internet. So then.
Mhm.
But during the tournaments, do you get like do you do anything else apart from preparation? I see you use social media. I think it's you who posts mostly on your social media, not some your manager or someone else.
Yeah, on Instagram it's just me
Hmm.
nowadays, but on Twitter, like I just don't know what's happening on Twitter.
Hmm.
It's all Shrikar if there is anything.
Got it. Got it. But you feel okay to go to social media. It's not bothering you in any way.
I feel fine.
You are good. Okay. This one I didn't get this game, to be honest. Like I just felt like maybe he just made this error like bishop e7, right, and he just then collapsed.
Yeah, and actually later, girlfriends have pointed out to me that this transposed to um, the famous Kasparov game from the World Championship match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I also had no idea about it.
This same position?
Yes, it had started from a different move order, but after Bishop G4, after Bishop takes C5, it was already the same position.
And then this happened, d4.
Yeah, the same thing happened until Queen A5.
What, really?
Yeah, and instead of A3, he chose Knight G3.
And I believe who Kasparov must be white.
Yeah, he was right. He went on to win this, and yeah, I also considered Knight G3 during the game, and felt it's a good move. But I felt A3 has more control and went further.
Hmm.
Both are pretty strong.
But you should have remembered this at least, no? You met him just few days ago.
Yeah,
It must have been very nice. You wrote that it was great meeting the goat.
yeah, it was. Like I just didn't. Okay, I knew he's associated with Grantchester, but I didn't think like I'll get an opportunity to just talk to him. Uh, we were analyzing like a little bit about my last zone game against Magnus.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was like very nice.
Yeah, also, I Gary does not smile like this with many people, so clearly he was having a good time with you there. Um, but you must have read some of his books or not
Yeah,
much.
I like I'm a person who doesn't read
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
many.
yeah, yeah. I remember. I remember. You don't like reading books, so A3 and yeah. Then you won a pawn and you won this game. It was perhaps you had to be very careful with all the little things,
Yeah, it
but
was.
you never lost control.
Yeah, it was a good game by me. Like I maintained precision, but it was like more like also a bad game from him.
True.
He gave me advantage pretty easily, and then also didn't resist so well.
Right. Right. And the last game that I want to look at is this one, my favorite one from this tournament. I don't know if it's yours as well.
Yeah, from this tournament, in terms of like the game quality, yes, this is my favorite.
Because, okay, Arjun, the thing is, yes, I understand this is a weakness. But to win such a position against Murzin is not easy. Like, he is also a very good endgame player.
Yeah, and also like it's not like a real weakness. Also,
Yeah. King is just coming to save it.
yeah, and the position is pretty solid for that.
So, how did you think here? Just make moves, or you thought, like, okay, I can do something?
Yeah, I saw like the plans. Like I thought playing a4 is a good move, and I thought I have to go c4 at some point and get my king in.
But this was a nice defense by him to push the
Yeah,
pawn.
when he played rook c8, I realized it's pretty equal. There's nothing because whenever I do c4, he takes and goes c4 himself. Yeah, I knew this is like a totally equal position, but I thought I'll just keep playing.
I like this move, rook h4. Just putting doubt in his mind, putting one more pawn on the dark square
And not just that, but I wanted to play c4 and have the rook on this side of
on
the
the other side.
the catch was like getting that with a time.
And then I guess there was one moment which I thought the engine showed a big edge, rook f3.
Yeah.
I don't know if you considered it.
No, at this point I wasn't looking like I wasn't already looking in this direction of trading the
Yes.
that thought just didn't occur to me yet.
Hmm.
Later I was looking in that direction, but I never had a like big possibility.
Got it. Here, you went here. And when you play such games, your mindset is just keep making moves. Yeah, like just,
Yeah, and try to pose practical problems.
and he might collapse. And which he
Like
did here. Rook b1, he played rook f8. And then it was over.
yeah. And there is actually one key moment after this, like king c4 with k7. Instead
Bishop.
of king,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bishop b to bishop a3 is very important. But instead of king d5, had he played rook d8,
Okay.
I hadn't seen this, and I have only one more that wins, and maybe I could have found it by process of elimination, but it's incredibly difficult.
I mean, what is his idea here exactly? Like, there's no
So his
threat, right?
point is, oh yeah, there's no threat, but when I take rook a6, he wants to go rook d2,
Ah,
because then rook c6, there is king d5.
right. Because otherwise, you can always play a check here. If rook d2, there is rook c7 check.
Yeah, right. So rook d2 is not a threat. So I should play this move f4, cementing the e5 bishop.
Hmm.
So that now we are threatening rook a6 because in the same line after rook c6 king d5, e5 doesn't hang.
Correct.
And if he takes knight g3, there is like a nice tactic.
Maybe people can think, yes.
Yeah,
White to
it's
play.
not at all easy, but like three more deep.
Okay. What's the move?
So it's rook c7 check,
Yes.
king d5.
If king d3, rook c3. It
Yeah, and
was
we win the knight. And still rook c3,
beautiful. Attacking the knight.
knight, and rook d3 wins the rook.
Beautiful. Wow. That's so nice. I think you would have found it. If
You would
you-
never know.
and then you won this. Okay, Arjun, beautiful. It was amazing going through your games, looking at them, learning about your thought process, the way you think, the clarity, the assessments, calculation. Thank you for sharing that. We had made a post before your interview, like 3 days in advance, saying you are going to come. And we picked a few questions from there. We had close to 220 questions which were there. So from that, I picked up a few good ones which are also upvoted by other people. They liked it. So maybe that's the question on minds of many. So if we can just go through them, maybe you don't have to go through too deeply, but if we can look at those questions, would it be okay?
Yes, yes, sure.
Okay. So here's the first one. It's by Chess Numbers India. He says, does Arjun actively evaluate FIDE circuit points before signing up for a tournament? And has FIDE introducing a circuit made open events more attractive for top players like you?
Mhm. So for me personally, yeah, in the start of the year, I did like I was evaluating about the FIDE circuit points, but after that point, I realized like with grand chess to the events, like whoever wins them will get a ton of points. So like I think my chance of FIDE circuit this year is pretty unlikely. So now I just don't think about FIDE circuit at all.
Hmm. Okay. Next one is by Aradhya Garg. He says, Arjun, I noticed you play a lot of range of openings and are quite unpredictable in that sense and can play almost anything. How did you develop this style to be able to play almost any opening and you do not fear not being thorough with your prep where you weren't so deep? It's a very good question.
Yeah, so back in the day, my reporter was pretty narrow, and Srinath used to tell that my reporter should get like um, more widened. And yeah, then I started working on like number of openings, and also it comes with confidence. Like in the start, I used to fear like not being thorough in an opening that I don't know, well. But now, like I have the confidence that even if I am out of prep, I can still find the best move in the position if I can think. So yeah, that confidence allows me to play number of openings.
Beautiful. That's very well put, very succinctly mentioned there. Next one is, if Arjun had an opportunity to create a chess variant with unique rules or twist, what would it be? This is by Parijat.
I guess modify Bughouse a little bit and make something new because Bughouse is one of my favorite variants.
Do you play it a lot? Like generally, I see players playing it after events get over.
Nowadays there is like not much, but at some point like I was just mad about Bughouse. I used to play so much on chess.com back in 2018.
Hmm.
Like I used to play more Bughouse than Blitz.
So you might be very strong at it.
Yes, I'm actually, this is something I'll brag about. I'm a pretty good Bughouse player, maybe one of the best in India.
Wow. I think Levon is very good at Bughouse. Maybe
Yes.
there you both can have a nice little,
We were playing Bughouse. I, Levon, Fabi, and Nils. We had a Bughouse. It's like we played tons of games and using one of the Bundesliga games.
And what happened there? Like, were you crushing it or?
No, it was pretty close. Like I think I was with Nils and Levon versus Fabi.
Hmm.
Like the matches were pretty close.
Nice, nice. Okay. Next one is by Sri Sub. Says, ask Arjun if he's ready to create a team that can take him to the top. At this point, does he need full-time dedicated coach who can help him at the next level, and maybe even a second who can research next big openings that he will play for the next big tournament that he'll play in the Olympiad?
Yeah, I think at this point, like not just for me, but having a team is very important to like everyone at this level. And yeah, I have my own team. For that.
And I think one of the key things where your the t-shirt that you have worn, quant box, comes into the picture is yeah, that you proudly are wearing today. And you had mentioned this at the start when Quantbox had made this deal that it will help me to build a team,
Yes,
and it's
exactly.
been more than a year now, I guess. And I
Yeah,
think
it's
it
been 1.5 years,
1.5
and
years. I think
it is
that
thanks to them that I am able to build a team.
mm, it's amazing, yeah. And this team building at some point, whenever I know that right now it's a very this is the most important thing. It's like in an F1 race, how the engine of one team is better than another one for that little bit of speed is like how the team is for a chess player. So we won't delve into it, but at some point, maybe when you do reveal it publicly, we would love to know your thought process there.
Yeah.
Um, for now, the next question is by Raman Mahesh, who says, when you were not invited to tournaments, how do you make up the mind to continue pushing forward? What's the thought process behind it?
Like I just it's, like I just like playing basically.
Mm.
So if it's not invited events, then whatever is available. So yeah, it was as simple as that.
It's also very interesting that the year, the invitations get fixed at the start of the year, or maybe even, in advance. So
Yeah,
I guess for 2025, there must be many invitations. Now, for the rest of the year, perhaps there are many which have already been finalized before. But now, with you becoming world number four, I think you will have many invitations.
yeah, I'm confident for the next year I'll have many invitations, and also I think in general the closed events, maybe most of them are in the first half of the year.
Mm.
So the invitations happen the before previous year itself.
Correct. Correct. And then moving on, we have Jabez David, who says, I need to say, Arjun, I'm a big fan, huge fan. We are from the same state. I have followed Arjun since he became a GM. My question to Arjun would be, playing so many tournaments back to back, how does Arjun ensure he's not burning himself out? How is he managing to not burn out, keep operating at this level of competency? All my love and support to Arjun.
Firstly, thank you. And yeah, like I have been working on my fitness, so that helps. And also one of the things I think, like naturally I'm gifted with energy.
Mm.
I get tired like not so easily, so that also helps a lot.
Ah, yes, even when you were very little, you used to continuously work, right? On chess, like you could play
Yeah,
on.
like I used to play a lot of tournaments, online games.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Uh, Olive says, I am curious about how Arjun manages expectations. Everyone wants to win, and he has done that non-stop for past months. What I would like to know is where Arjun expects to be in near future. What happens in occasions where he doesn't achieve the goals he sets, since everyone loses at some point. Also, I would like to know how he has overcome inevitable frustration everyone deals with sometimes, and how overcoming them affected his mentality.
Mhm. Yeah, so like um, it was. Wait, sorry, I forgot the question.
There
Can
are
you?
too many questions here. I know. What happens where Arjun, on occasion where he doesn't achieve the goals he sets? Maybe that is one. Maybe you can answer that.
Yeah, so in the past, like yes, it used to. So I used to set like many goals, like like this number of points for a certain tournament and all this. And when it didn't happen, it used to like when there was a setback in the process, it used to affect me. And Srinath used to point this out a lot, and like that used to affect me a lot. But with time, I have like we mentioned in the start of the interview,
Yes.
now like my mentality has changed.
Yeah, I think a lot of the questions which are here, like even the next one, do have their answers in the first part of this interview. Like this one, which says, congrats on, by the way, this is, you have achieved the all time second highest ELO by any Indian, because Hari's was 2770 published rating. You mentioned in an interview earlier, you used to think a lot about losing ELO points, which restricted you mentally from giving your best, and then eventually you have stopped thinking about ratings and it boosted your performance. So here I think this question is, after reaching 2778, is it same now? So do you not have any goals as such now, or?
Yeah, now I don't have like for now whatever tournament I play, I want to do well in that, but
Mm,
not any rating related. But maybe when I like reach even closer, then it might start playing on my head. I don't know. But yeah, for now I'm stable on that.
brilliant. Okay, COVID Bowie says we'll take only one question. Will you play Hans in a match if they invite you?
Yeah, if it's a like good match and the stakes are high, then I wouldn't mind.
Okay. Stakes are high. Yeah, this is interesting. Like the $1 million tournament. Yeah, this that they are organizing. Maybe. But
Yeah,
did you see that one? 4 million, 4 players each bringing in 1 million. Did you find it interesting?
yeah, we have never had something like this in chess, and the prize fund is more than a world championship.
Yes.
So yeah, it's interesting. Let's see how it goes and who will win
Mm. Yeah, maybe someday you would also take part in it. Perhaps. Here's the next question. Out of Pragg, Gukesh, Vidit, and himself, who does he think are best in classical, rapid, blitz, and bullet? Okay, slightly tough
it.
question, but I
Okay, if
mean,
you include me, I would be biased, but uh, if I have to be like properly objective, I think classical we are all about the same strength, and bullet I would say I'm stronger than the rest because I have more experience.
yeah, we also saw it. Yeah, like many times. Even death match with Gukesh, you managed to play in that 1 minute segment very well.
Yeah, and rapid blitz, yeah, I think it depends on the day and how it goes.
Hmm. Okay.
But in general, I think like we're all about the same thing.
Here's another tough question. Jordan Extreme says, with this tremendous achievement, do you think you will have the same results against top players in close tournaments now that you will almost have guaranteed invites?
Yeah, I'm confident. Like it may take a while to get used to playing against a strong players. So in the start, it might not be as good, but with time, I'm sure. Like when I'm experienced against them, I'm confident I'll do pretty well.
Amazing. Revant says, hi Arjun, I'm Revant from Hyderabad and a huge fan of your playing style. Since you travel to so many cities across the world, I'm curious to know how do you deal with jet lag, as adjusting your sleep and food cycles to the local time zone each time? Lots of love and support from my family.
Thank you so much. So yeah, like traveling has been like always there for me since childhood, and until a point like I just never felt any jet lag or anything. But recently I am starting to feel it a bit.
Mm.
But okay, one good thing for me is like no matter how my sleep schedule is when I'm home, during tournaments I always sleep on time like 12
Ah,
1 and wake up at
very
9.
interesting.
So that really
It's like
helps.
your body is used to get now tournament, you have to sleep well.
Yeah, and also I think it's because like the tournaments happen in Europe.
Mm.
So it's like 12 1 there. It's like uh, that's the time that I sleep in India. So that helps.
Like 3:30 or 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. Here's the next question. Kaiden Knight says, Arjun, big fan of yours. I've been rooting for you for more than 1.5 years. My question is how to exploit weak squares and how to use every ounce of resource from each and every piece on the board, just like Fischer, Lasker, and Karpov used to do. And mainly immense love for from Nepal.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Um, So yeah, I think it's not like easy to just tell it. It comes from understanding. The more number of games you play, I think the like understanding will be higher, better. So with better understanding, I think you'll be able to understand how to exploit weak squares and all the questions that will be exploited. So yeah, just keep playing and enjoy chess.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's a great answer. And last question. Yerni Babu says, what is your favorite food that your mom cooks?
When I'm home, I love to eat prawns,
Okay.
and yeah, during tournaments when there is not many resources available, then I like eggs right there.
Sorry, what do you like?
Eggs right there.
Egg fried rice. Okay. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. On a parting note, Arjun, I want to just point out like I recently interviewed Pragg after his Norway chess, and at the end of it, I asked him about your play, and he had some amazing things to say. Like, at that point, you just started Armenia. Uh, have you been following his play? You both are good friends, I know that. And recently, he did beat Magnus in classical chess, also Caruana. Uh, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Norwich is like every day I was following in from France, and it was like so incredible, and I was so happy to see when he beat Magnus and in classical, and he has always been like better than the other Indians against Magnus, let's say. But yeah, beating Magnus in classical was huge, and I was so happy for him.
Hmm.
And also, like not just that game, but the whole tournament he played at a very high quality. And also the game with Caruana, it was like the way in which he won, it was like how Magnus beats others.
Right, right. This
Was,
night end game.
yeah, so that was also very impressive, especially considering that was right after the loss to Hikari.
Yes.
So yeah, it was very impressive, and yeah, I was just happy for him.
Wonderful, wonderful. I hope you guys meet soon and go on your walks like you do always. Here's another one, last one with Gukesh winning the candidates. Brilliant performance by him, right? And will face now Ding Liren in the World Championship. So that's also another fantastic result for.
Yeah, yeah, this is like incredible. Like winning candidates at 17 is, I think the previous record was at like 20. So he didn't just break it, but he broke it by 3 years.
Mm,
And like he could potentially become a world champion at 18. Generally, fight for at 18, people fight for like under 18 title, but he's fighting for the main crown. So it's just like incredible, so impressive, super.
yeah, well, all of you guys doing special things in your own ways, and we couldn't have been more proud of each one of you. Arjun, today you spent so much time with us, answering questions, showing us games, telling us about your inner journey, which is so important. And I think this is really kind of you to spend so much time. So I thank you immensely for taking out this time and doing this.
Thank you, Sagar. Thanks for having me.
Bye, Arjun.
Bye.